Hi, I'm Kerstin Forsberg, and I'm founder and director of the nonprofit Planeta Oceano based in Peru. And today I'm going to talk about the power of youth in marine conservation. And why marine conservation? Well, simply because the ocean is our planet's main life support system. The ocean gives us over 70% of the oxygen that we breathe. It regulates our climate. It provides food and livelihoods. And in other words, it makes our planet habitable. But the ocean faces numerous threats, including pollution, overexploitation, climate change, threats that really and drastically affect all of us. In other words, we all depend on the ocean, but we also all need to do something in order to conserve it. So my story with the ocean started as a young environmental leader myself. I was 22 years old, and in 2007 was finishing my undergraduate studies on biology, and I decided to start a community grassroots initiative on conservation and research of endangered sea turtles. And in 1 month, we had over 100 local volunteers, which were young members themselves, patrolling the beaches and finding sea turtle strandings and mortality, and engaging local fishermen to report and release sea turtles that had been incidentally caught in their nets. So before long, we received a call from these two girls, noting that they had found a sea turtle that had hatched in front of their house. When we went and saw the sea turtle, we found that it was the very first evidence of green turtle nesting in Peru, a species that had never been found to nest in the country before. So this showed not just the power of youth, but also of kids to generate information that could lead to conservation and to management. So soon the impact grew towards schools, and youth were leading their campaigns to reduce sea turtle ornamental use, which at that time was still common in the area. So youth would approach restaurants and hotels that had these carapaces on display and ask them to take them down in benefit for conservation. So our model to engage youth and communities in marine conservation grew, and in 2011, thanks to support from IYF, we were able to scale this model to different communities and generate our first incubator of youth-led projects for marine conservation, in which we could train youth and provide them the tools to guide their own initiatives that could contribute to conservation in their communities. And through this, we had a number of different initiatives ranging from mangrove reforestation to arts projects that benefited conservation to research with local fishermen. And this somehow led us to what we're doing today, which is scaling this model internationally through our new Connecting Schools model, in which we aim to connect schools and youth through online technology and direct community action, and in which any school from across the world can reach out to another school and develop a sense of global citizenship in the work that they do. But even beyond our work with schools and youth-led incubators, young students and young professionals have been at the core of everything we do at Planeta Oceano. For example, with our flagship project to pioneer research and conservation of giant manta rays in Peru. So giant manta rays are a majestic species. They are threatened worldwide, and in Peru they were harvested and captured. So we set out on a mission to start conserving this species in our country. And in collaboration and together with young professionals, we started researching captures and fisheries of giant mantas and other shark and ray species. We started researching manta rays at sea and started engaging local fishermen in conservation of this vulnerable species. So thanks to this, we've been able to generate new scientific information for giant manta rays in Peru. We've been able to partner with scientific institutions to, for example, track movements of giant manta rays or study giant manta ray genetics. And in collaboration with youth and the local government, we were able to protect giant manta rays in the country, and now it's prohibited to harvest and consume this species in Peruvian waters. And likewise, youth worked with fishermen and communities to research the critically endangered sawfish, a species that was thought to be extinct in Peru for many years and that was just legally protected by the Peruvian government this year. These initiatives have allowed us to build a platform for community ownership and engagement in marine conservation. For example, fishermen are leading community-based ecotourism trips to value giant manta rays alive in the water, or youth are developing manta clubs to raise awareness regarding this species conservation. Like Josue, the boy featured in these photos that started as a volunteer of our sea turtle project when he was only 4 years old. Beyond the impact that youth are having towards marine conservation, these projects are also creating a platform for capacity development and career development of youth. With limited or no background experience prior to working on these projects, young students or professionals start engaging in these initiatives as volunteers or interns and immediately receive tools and opportunities to grow as professionals. It's then marvelous to see how they access jobs or leadership roles or maybe even create their own organization. So with our planet at a crossroads, there's lots of reasons on why youth should engage in marine conservation. We all depend on the ocean and we all need to conserve it. And there's also lots of ways on how youth can engage in marine conservation. They can directly contribute to research, to guiding and influencing management and policy, or to creating innovative and creative entrepreneurship or technological ideas. But even beyond working in marine conservation, youth from any sector can contribute to the ocean. For example, incorporating sustainability into their organization's decision-making or communicating sustainable practices and sharing sustainable practices with their families and communities. Moving forward with the SDG agenda, the ocean is not just about SDG 14. It's about really supporting so many of the other SDGs. So now, with the UN Decade of Ocean Science for Sustainable Development coming up, I invite you to learn more about the ocean. I invite you to determine a challenge that you think that you can contribute to help solving. And when doing so, I invite you to think about how to leverage the power of youth so that we can all ensure the ocean that we need and want. I invite you to join our efforts and look forward to collaborating with you soon. Thank you very much.